Two words are quietly being repeated in royal circles right now, and they carry far more weight than they appear to at first glance. Those words are not dramatic, emotional, or even particularly cruel. They are simple, calculated, and deeply revealing. Harry alone. Not Harry and Meghan, not the Sussexes, just Harry. And in the world of monarchy, where every word is measured and every omission is intentional, that distinction matters more than any public statement ever could. Over the past several months, a subtle but unmistakable shift has been unfolding in plain sight. Prince Harry has appeared at a number of events without his wife present. These moments were not grand returns or formal reconciliations. They were small, carefully managed appearances tied to causes he has long supported. Yet the reaction to them has been anything but small. Observers noticed something immediately. Harry looked different, more relaxed, less guarded, familiar in a way many had not seen in years. And just as noticeably, the response around him changed as well. The reception was warmer, the tone was softer, the tension that usually follows him seemed to fade. At the same time, Meghan Markle was absent, entirely. That absence has not gone unnoticed, especially online. Social media users, commentators, and even previously neutral observers began pointing out the contrast. Side-by-side images circulated widely comparing Harry's demeanor during solo appearances with his posture and expressions when appearing with his wife. The differences were difficult to ignore. What followed was not a coordinated campaign, but something far messier, a spontaneous shift in public conversation. The narrative that had once been treated cautiously suddenly became blunt. People began openly asking whether Meghan's presence had complicated Harry's relationship with his family more than anyone wanted to admit. This is where the story takes a sharper turn. According to multiple sources familiar with internal discussions, senior members of the royal family have quietly accepted a reality that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. Any potential path forward with Prince Harry does not automatically include his wife. This is not being framed as punishment or rejection. It is being treated as pragmatism. The monarchy, after all, does not operate on emotion alone. It operates on continuity, stability, and long-term survival. From that perspective, insiders suggest the family has reached a conclusion based on repeated experience. Progress is possible with Harry as an individual, but consistently breaks down when discussions involve Meghan. That assessment did not happen overnight. For months, attempts at limited communication reportedly stalled under layers of conditions, expectations, and boundaries that made meaningful movement impossible. Each attempt ended the same way: more distance, more frustration, and more public fallout. Eventually, a different approach emerged. Instead of attempting reconciliation as a unit, attention quietly shifted to Harry alone. Invitations became more targeted, language and public remarks grew more specific, family references began centering on "our son" and "our brother," noticeably excluding collective phrasing. To the royal family, this was not cruelty, it was strategy. Historically, the institution has faced similar challenges. Controversial spouses are not new to monarchy. The difference here is timing, visibility, and media saturation. Every disagreement, every misunderstanding, every fracture played out globally and permanently. Those advising the family reportedly argued that the only way to lower the temperature was to reduce the variables. In other words, remove the element that consistently escalated conflict. Public reaction appears to have validated that calculation. Online commentary has grown increasingly blunt, not just from anonymous users, but from journalists, commentators, and even previously neutral observers. Many are now openly stating that Harry's public image improves dramatically when he operates independently. Hashtags celebrating Harry's solo appearances trend with positive sentiment. Meanwhile, Meghan's name increasingly appears in conversations about brand fatigue, overexposure, and credibility gaps. This shift is especially striking given how carefully the Sussexes worked to control their story after leaving royal life. Major media deals, exclusive interviews, high-budget documentaries, all designed to reclaim narrative authority. Instead, the opposite seems to have happened. The more content produced, the more skepticism grew. Inside palace walls, the contrast is reportedly even starker. Staff members who interact with Harry alone describe a markedly different person. More attentive, more patient, more engaged. He listens rather than lectures. He thanks rather than demands. Several insiders describe it as encountering two versions of the same man, depending on who stands beside him. This observation carries weight because it aligns with a pattern that stretches back years. Unusually high staff turnover during joint Sussex operations, complaints of emotional exhaustion, communication breakdowns, abrupt departures. While no single factor explains that pattern, many now believe the dynamic between Harry and Meghan played a central role. From a historical perspective, the palace response fits a familiar model. When a controversial relationship threatens institutional stability, the approach is rarely direct confrontation. Instead, the system waits, observes, separates influence where possible, protects the core. That long view appears to be shaping decisions now. Sources suggest that Harry himself may be more receptive to this separation than previously believed, not because he has rejected his wife, but because he is tired. Tired of conflict, tired of being at war with his past, tired of defending decisions that no longer feel as clear as they once did. Those who speak with him privately describe moments of hesitation, flickers of doubt, quiet acknowledgement that certain choices came with heavier costs than anticipated. Nowhere is that tension felt more deeply than with King Charles. As both monarch and father, Charles occupies an impossible position. Reports suggest he has never closed the door to his younger son. He continues to differentiate between emotional reconciliation and institutional compromise. The king is said to be open to rebuilding a personal relationship with Harry. What he is not open to is underwriting attacks on the monarchy itself or legitimizing behavior he views as destructive. That distinction shapes everything. Charles reportedly pays close attention to Harry's solo engagements. He notices the difference. He recognizes the son he remembers in those moments. And he believes, perhaps stubbornly, that time and distance could still allow healing. But patience has limits, and this is where Prince William enters the picture. William's position is reportedly far less flexible. As heir to the throne, he views the Sussex saga not as a personal disagreement, but as a threat to institutional integrity. Sources describe him as firmly opposed to any reconciliation that includes Meghan. To William, trust was broken beyond repair. His anger is said to stem not just from public accusations, but what he believes occurred privately, particularly during periods when his wife, Catherine, faced intense personal challenges. He allegedly views Meghan's actions during that time as unforgivable. Those close to William say his stance is absolute. He has communicated clearly that certain lines cannot be uncrossed and certain people cannot be reintegrated. Catherine reportedly shares this view. Though publicly restrained, insiders describe her as meticulous and cautious. Over time, she is said to have documented interactions and incidents that contradicted the public Sussex narrative, not for revenge, but for protection. In royal families, memory matters, and Catherine's memory is said to be long. Together, William and Catherine present a united front that leaves little room for compromise. Their influence represents the future of the monarchy, and their refusal to engage with Meghan effectively closes the door on any full family reunion. This leaves Harry in an agonizing position. Friends describe him as deeply conflicted. He is loyal to his wife, yet increasingly aware of what he has lost. Regret surfaces quietly in private conversations. Not regret over loving Meghan, but regret over how everything unfolded. Certain moments loom large: high-profile interviews, sweeping accusations, permanent recordings of anger that cannot be edited out of history. Harry reportedly understands now that some bridges were not merely burned, they were demolished. Life in California, once imagined as liberation, has not delivered the peace he expected. The independence came with isolation. The invisibility came with wealth. The wealth came without belonging. Those who care about him worry. They describe a man adrift, disconnected from the roles and relationships that once grounded him. Meanwhile, Meghan's position